going on, everybody? Yes, guys, it's Tuesday. You know what that means. It's time for another Around the Ropes podcast here on October 22nd. Guys, hopefully everybody's having a fantastic week. I know it's only Tuesday, so it's not really that long of a week. But, guys, we are live. We do have two phenomenal guests joining us, and I just want to share the show so people can view the show because, you know, that's how we roll here on Around the Ropes podcast in case you're somebody who's new and has not seen the show. But, guys, like I said, we have a lot of stuff to get to tonight. We have two fantastic guests join the show. First, at 8:30, in about a half hour from now, Michael Turner returns to the program from Bell to Bell Promotions. He's the wrestling company up in Maine. They're doing another show coming up in November. So we're going to talk to him and also kind of find out how the last show went for him several weeks ago. Then at 9:30, coming off of a hellacious Brii Combination, Nightmare at the Mecca, and looking ahead to the Doomsday for Pro Wrestling Magic, the one and only, the fairest one of them all, the one and only Shane Fair, makes his triumphant return to the podcast for the first time in, God, I don't know how long it's been. It's been a hot minute. I think it's safe to say it's probably the first time he's been on the show since 2024. And it works out great because we're almost done with 2024. But so we got him coming up. We got so much to get to. We got recaps for you guys as Brii Combination had their show Nightmare at the Mecca. We also have the Battle of the Bourough recap to give you guys because, guys, after talking about it for several months on this show and talking about it for several weeks with the kickoff shows and all that, guys, it's finally time for it finally happened this weekend, the Battle of the Bourough run by DJ Storms and ECPW. So we have that to talk about. We also have Halloween Havoc coming up this Sunday live from the Hershey Arena in Hershey, PA. No, the Giant Arena, sorry. In Hershey, PA. And the funny thing is, only an hour or some change away from the 2300 Arena. So could we possibly see some NXT superstars at Battleground on Saturday? Maybe. Who knows? But I want to dive into what we saw last night on Monday Night Raw first. And it was first of all, I will say this much. I think the fact that now we're going to 2 hours instead of 3, we definitely started changing pace last night. And obviously, we do have a new IC champion as Braun Breaker becomes, I think, the 6th or 7th wrestler to win the IC title on 2 different or multiple occasions now because this is his second run with the belt. So we had that last night. But I think the bigger thing is the fact when we saw the Bloodline show up. Because we all know that with the Bloodline doing what they're doing, that eventually where it's all going to lead to. And that is the War Games match happening in November for Survivor Series. I mean, it is obvious. And by the way, guys, you can also leave comments in the comment section. We'll definitely read them throughout the entire night. And also, guys, I want to mention one other thing here. We have a Pro Wrestling teaser. I forgot to mention this last couple of weeks. Search Around the Ropes Podcast for all official merch. As of now, there's 3 shirts up there. Probably within the next week or so, hoping to get some more shirts lined up. So then, like I said, you guys can support the show. And if you do buy a shirt and you do let me know either through Facebook or text or whatever, I will give you a shout out on the podcast. So that is my offer to you. If you buy a shirt, and the one thing with the store is they're very reasonably priced. They're very reasonably priced and they're good quality. I mean, if you're a Pro Wrestling Tees fanatic, you kind of know how good of a quality they have. So, like I said, go check it out. Go support the podcast. Like I said, I'll have more coming up for you in the next couple of weeks, if not more. But Sorry. But no, but as far as with, I like what they're doing now with the Bloodline storyline. Because where I thought for a while, I thought that the Bloodline storyline was going to go nowhere. They're building up the right way, I feel. And they're building up the right way in the sense that could they, how do you bring everybody back into the fold? And the way you do that is simple. It's a very simple way. It's a very easy way. Very very simple way is you screw Jey Uso out of the title. That's the best way to do it. Because now you have a reason for Jey to want to go back with the Usos. I mean, could we put the still lead at some point to Jey versus Roman? Yeah, I think when all the pop and circumstances are done with Rock and Roman, I think we'll definitely be getting Jey and Roman at some point. But the thing is, you got to realize, Jey and Roman, you're not going to see on Mania. Jey and Roman, you probably would see a Money in the Bank or a Survivor Series or something of that nature where it's not a, it's not a, try to be the best way I can phrase it. It's not a A-level feud, but it's definitely not a B. It's more of like a B level. It's not Rock and Roman. That's the best way I'll put it. That is the best way I can put it. But when you look at, when you look at this whole setup and everything, I mean, it's I'm trying to figure out the best way I can phrase this. It has to be done the right way. That's the best way I can put it. It has to be done the right way. Hold on 1 second. But no, it has to be done the right way. But my question to you guys is this. Who becomes that last member? Because right now, when you're looking at the grander picture of things, more than likely it's going to be Roman and the Usos up against Solo, Tagaloa, and Jacob Fatu. Who I'm going to be honest right now, I think Jacob Fatu, when this is all said and done, is going to be looked at like the fucking rock star and all of this. To me, if they put him as the tribal chief over Solo, I think this Bloodline 2.0 storyline will be a hell of a lot different, to say the least, as opposed to what we're seeing now. Because let's be honest, I think now the way we're looking at it is Solo's kind of a how do I put this the nicest way possible? Solo is kind of, to me, he doesn't have the same intimidating factor like Roman did. When Roman was at his peak with the Bloodline, he had more intimidating factors than what we're seeing now with Solo. Jacob, on the other hand, is definitely got a comment coming in from our buddy David across the pond, who says, and I quote, he goes, "Hey John, how you doing, pal? Gotta say, after seeing Uncle Howdy delivering the mandible claw to Paul Ellering on Raw, I gotta admit, you actually sold Gangon's claw better than David. I appreciate that, my friend. There's a minor difference between how Paul Ellering sold his mandible claw compared to me. He's been doing this a lot longer. He's also 71 years old, and oh yeah, he's Paul fucking Ellering. I'm a podcaster who's been in this industry for 3 years and is about 40 years younger than him. And I think, according to everybody's esteemed favorite journalist there, Mr. No, David, I know you're being serious, and I appreciate it a lot. It's just funny that you would say that, though, because, again, Paul Arlen is 71 years old. I'm 31. There's about a 40-year difference. And, oh, yeah, I also haven't been in this industry for as long as he's been in this industry. I'm going to look up right now how long Paul Arlen has been in this crazy wrestling industry for. Give me a second here. Let me take a look here, because I think Paul Arlen has been doing this for... Paul Arlen has been doing this. Yeah, he's 71 years old. He started wrestling. He started in pro wrestling in, I have to say, I think 1977. Yeah, David, that's what I'm saying. Age has a little bit of a factor in it. I mean, like I said, he's been wrestling. Paul Arlen has been a part of wrestling now, and I have to take out my calculator because I'm not good at math here. So, 2024 minus 1977. Paul Arlen has been in the wrestling industry for 47 years. I've been in the wrestling industry for about 3. Yeah, since the start of this podcast. So, I think he kind of gets a pass on how he sells a mandible claw. Well, you've been doing this for almost 50 fucking years. Good Lord Almighty. And Dave, I hope you realize I'm just busting your chops. I appreciate the compliment, my friend. And guys, like David just did, you can definitely comment as well. Let us know what you're thinking. And it doesn't have to be specifically on what we're talking about right now. I feel like I have to stress this now. It doesn't have to be specifically on what we're talking about. It's whatever you guys want to talk about. In regards to pro wrestling, I have to specify that. In regards to pro wrestling. But the other stuff also, and what David's talking about is last night, the Wyatt Six returned. And it looks like we're getting Wyatt Six Final Testament program. But I still think it's Wyatt Six Final Testament program with the addition of The Miz. Now, am I a fan of The Miz's addition? Yeah, sort of. Is it needed? No. I guess what they're trying to do is they figured, okay, Howdy has, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, Dexter Lumis. The Miz would have The Miz. If he went solo, if he went with, if he's going the right, he's going right now with the Final Testament stuff, then you could also potentially do down the road an intergender tag team where it includes Scarlett. So it would definitely be interesting to see how that pans out as well. But but in regards to with Braun Breaker, I like the fact that he's the IC champion again. I said this to somebody yesterday after Jey Uso lost. Oh, I forgot where I saw this, but somebody said it. Jey only lost that belt as a way to get him involved in the storyline, which makes sense and all that stuff. But that's the only reason, is they had to take the belt off of him. So realistically, that proves everybody's point that they only put the belt on him to get that 15, that to get, those moments. Sorry, don't mind me. Work has just been kicking my butt lately. And guys, I do promise you by Saturday, this whole crazy thing on my head called a mop, also known as my hair, will be cleaned up. Because, guys, like I said, coming up this Saturday, do I not have a poster? I don't have a poster. Wow, what type of person? What type of promoter? What type of Yeah, I don't have the flipping poster. Oh, you're an idiot, and I'm the idiot, not you. I am. But let me see if I can pull up the poster quickly. Just give me 1 second. Oh, it looks like I can't pull up the poster. Well, don't worry. We have Plan B. All right. I can wait for that. Now, guys, as you can see to the left, the Brii Combination Battleground Championship Wrestling presents a Nightmare on South Spooner Street. We're going to have such action as Masada taking on Christian Ross. We're going to have I'm trying to see here who else off the poster. Rich Swann takes on Shelton Benjamin. Alec Alden takes on Elijah. We also have triple threat women's action as Vicious Vicky takes on Danny Moe and Gabby Ortiz, where Danny Moe's BCW Women's Championship will be on the line. B-Boy and VSK will battle it out in the main event, more than likely, to become the new BCW Heavyweight Champion. Because as we know at the last show, it was supposed to be Lance Analahi, but Lance had to vacate the title, and they never really announced why. So he won't be able to be there. And then originally this was supposed to be a triple threat match with Thomas Billington, the grandson of the late great Dynamite Kid, and he ended up pulling out. So now they just made a singles match with VSK versus B-Boy. Also in action, Shellac takes on Drake Younger for the Philadelphia Street Fight in the dog collar match. This is a match I'm telling anybody who happens to have front row seats, make sure you bring an umbrella because it's gonna get a little red. But so guys, like I said, we got that coming up this week, and I actually have an announcement to make with that, but that'll be later on tonight. But okay, but no, like I said, as far as with Braun, I like what they're doing with him. I've always been a fan of him, but I think they planted the seeds last night for an eventual Jacob Fatu Braun Breaker match. Which I'm going to tell you right now, if that's what we're getting, Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, sign me up right now. Sign me up. And I seriously cannot wait for that to happen. But let's keep things moving here because, guys, it's also announced this coming Saturday. And we'll touch on Brii and Battle of the Bourough after our interview with Michael here in a little bit. But they did announce, though, on November 6th, the WWE NXT weekly live show that we've been seeing on CW for the last ungodly amount of time will be on will be at the ECW Arena on the 6th. So that's actually pretty cool that I'm going to be able to turn around and be like, yeah, I walk the same hallways as fucking what's his face? Guys like Triple H and guys like Shawn and guys like Trick Williams and Ethan Page, and I'm gonna be in that same fucking building a few days before they're there. So we're actually we're gonna take a quick commercial break. On the other side of this break, Michael Turner will be joining us live from the Maine Event Pro Wrestling and Bell to Bell. But guys, we'll be right back right after this. You're watching your Ropes podcast right here on the Run Ropes YouTube and Facebook channel. We'll be right back right after this. What the? There we go. And we're back live right here on the Around the Ropes podcast. Now, guys, coming up on November 2nd. Actually, never mind. It's actually still a little too early for that. I thought it was much later. I'm sorry. That was my bad. I thought it was like 8:30 already, but it's not. So, Mike, hold on later for a little bit longer, my friend. But no, this was that. Like I said, as far as with Bron Breakker, I know I'm jumping all over the place right now, but as far as the Bron Breakker goes, he should never lost the belt. And I say that for the one reason of he is somebody who clearly they want to do something with. We got a comment coming in here from Greek Savage. I'm going to read this right now. He goes, if you're not opening the show, thanking God for giving you a chance to sit with a legend, then I don't know what you're doing. Also, you also failed at sending me the footage. Well, Greek Savage, first of all, I think you got your suit from Burlington Coat Factory, first of all, so it wasn't that expensive. And second off, you sure it wasn't the other way around, my friend? You sure it wasn't you thanking me for sitting next to somebody who has done commentary work in the ECW building? And if we're going to play this game, two can play at this game. So bring your best shot there. Bring your best shot. You want to be, I can't even think of any Greek managers. I'll think of something. But Greek, in all seriousness, my friend, I hope you realize I'm just busting your chops. Or maybe I'm not, who knows? What do you say? You had stains on your shirt and you dare talk to me? Okay, for your honesty there, sir, in my opinion, first of all, those weren't stains, okay? Those were pen marks for all the work I put in to be an esteemed play-by-play guy or color commentator, whatever the frick my role was that night. And again, are you sure this is more of me thanking you or you thanking me, being that I have said, I have been put in that that I have, I've done commentary in the ECW building. The same building, mind you, that WWE will be in on November 6th. My friends from the Front Row Mafia chimes in here, goes, Toto Atama is a better manager. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why did this become a roast savage? And now Greek Savage turns around and goes, Toto Atama is almost as pathetic as the fans from New Jersey. I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to move on from this little thing. Front Row Mafia and Greek Savage, if you guys want to go have your little play date, go have it in the corner, please. And also, no offense, but yeah, Toto Atama is a better manager. At least he can put a pumpkin on his head. But in all seriousness, though, like I said, as far as the Bron Breakker, I don't know what. Hold on 1 second. Just bear with me for 30 seconds here. I want to see something here because. All right, guys, let me bring in our guest right now. Guys, coming up on November 2nd at the Franklin Veteran Club up in Maine, MEW, Maine Event Wrestling, that's Maine Event Wrestling. Yeah, Maine Event Wrestling returns with Fall Back, and talking all about it is the one and only Michael Turner, who will also be joined by Tabitha Brown as well. So let me bring them both in. Tabitha, Mike, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing this evening?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm glad to have Mike. I'm glad to have you on, and Tabitha, it's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Very nice to meet you. Tabitha, let me first, go into this. You're a wrestler on the card, but I know you're also helping behind the scenes. How did that whole thing come to fruition?
Well, let me correct that one. She doesn't wrestle.
Oh. Okay. Okay, because I was just going off the thing and it says will be appear in live. Okay, I misread that. My bad. I'm sorry.
Close. So Mike and we live locally, and I own a company called Luxury Picnics Acadia. So what I do is I set up picnics for people who elope inside of the park and picnic baskets and that sort of thing. So he reached out to me because my company helps sponsor his company, and he wanted to put some zhuzh on his picnic baskets for these people in need that we are doing this fundraiser for, and I was all in. So here I am.
Mike, how does it feel? I know we had spoken before after the last show. You know, how are you feeling as a promoter? A couple days or weeks ahead of this show.
Like normal, it's purely chaos. Trying to get things together. You add a fundraiser on top of it, and it's even more difficult. We did a radio interview last week?
Last week.
Yeah, last week. We'll be on the news next week. And we're here with you this week, and everything in between.
Lots of promo.
Believe me, I get it. I've been doing this podcast now for 3 years, and being around the wrestling industry as long as I've had, I see, the problems, especially with this close to the event itself. But for people who are watching who may not know, what exactly, and Mike, you can touch on this, what exactly is the fundraiser for?
So I came up with this idea to put together Thanksgiving baskets, as Tabitha had mentioned, for local families. I wanted to do something a little different that wasn't just donating to either a big corporation or a big business that was local that will most likely do things for Thanksgiving, but I want to make sure that it's a little more personal and we know where the the stuff is going to actually hit home with people.
Yeah, no, and it's also kind of interesting that it's not happening closer to Thanksgiving when every other company runs Thanksgiving themed shows closer to Thanksgiving.
No, I had the date forever, and I figured, given what she does, with her business, with putting, as I stated, or as she stated, doing these picnics for people. I wanted to be able to have a little flair behind these Thanksgiving baskets, not just something like a box that would go out to a family, and you never see them or you never know, what's taking place with it, but, to put something together nice to give, make sure that they feel a little special.
No, I totally get that. And if you don't mind, what exactly, I know you said they're Thanksgiving stuff, but what exactly are in these picnic baskets?
So we're going to give them a full Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
From top to bottom. So, with the cost of everything too nowadays, that can run a family, close to $100 easily.
A portion of the proceeds go towards these baskets. So we've been building a lot of promo to try to get as many people as we can to show up, and Special Children's Friends, a local nonprofit special needs school, is also involved. And they serve this area, again, another super underserved area of Maine itself. But yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to find some families and get them a really happy Thanksgiving. And, we started a little early before we're just skipping over Halloween. Forget it. It's fine. Easily.
I was going to say, I feel like a lot of times, like you go to retail stores, I feel like they skip over Halloween most of the time anyway. So I get it.
The dollar store never forgets Halloween. We'll be fine.
No. But let me ask you a question. If there's somebody who's watching the show right now who may not be in the Maine area who wants to donate, is there a way they could?
Yeah, they can go to the Bell to Bell link, and I have Cash App and PayPal links on there, and they can certainly send cash that way, and we'll put it towards whatever. Generally, when people donate, what I try to do is I will figure out, how much they donated, and I will do one of two things. I'll either put it directly towards the cause, or I will put it in the form of tickets and try to give them away to people that can't afford to go to the show.
And that link, by the way, so people who are watching us who may not be in the Maine area, If you guys want to donate, I definitely would recommend. The link will be in the description below. So you just got to click that, and it'll bring you right to it. So I will definitely do that for you guys. But Mike, I want to ask you though about the card itself. First of all, coming off the last show, how did the last show go? I didn't get a chance to see a lot of the stuff from it.
It went really good actually. There was a lot of effort put into it, and I think the card worked out great. We brought up Bloodstorm Pro for that as well. They came out of Pennsylvania, and that was quite a highlight. Jem Martell. Maine doesn't get women ring announcers for sure, and so she was a gift to have. Good.
No, I was going to say, as far as with women ring announcers, I don't think I've seen, and like I said, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I work with a lot of companies from, obviously, with you guys up in Maine to all the way down in Pennsylvania, and I think I've seen one women announcer. It's been, I think, mostly men who I've seen do the ring announcing. But I want to go over the card here because you do have some interesting matches. And first one I want to look at here is the Intergender Tag Team Championship match. Which
yeah. Blade Bandit, Justin Nolan.
Yep.
And my champion, Eric Johnson, and Nat Castle,
who I'm very familiar with living down here on Long Island because she does Creator Pro.
Correct. Yep.
So how do you see this one playing out?
I don't know. Very historic with Jess and Blade always getting one over on people. I don't like to throw the word out cheating too much, but they always seem to find a way to win their matches. And, I put a team together that has never tagged before, and they are not too familiar with each other. So I'm hoping maybe they can put a stop to the cheating ways of Blade and Jess.
Well, you bring up an interesting point though with Eric and Nat Castle, who've never teamed before. Is that almost going to be a disadvantage to them? Do you think?
It could be, or they could work perfectly well. I mean, opposites attract. So I mean, you've got Nat, she's a tiny girl, and you've got the beast, Eric Johnson. So, I think anything's possible.
It's possible, definitely. That's, I think, one thing fans should definitely watch out for. But next match you got here is actually another guy who I'm very familiar with, Tristan Kai. Obviously, another Creator Pro star, taking on friend of the show and somebody who I've become good friends with, Chris Rex.
Yeah, so that's a very special match. We've had a little issue with Tristan actually. He's got this thing going on in his head where he thinks every girl wants him, and ever since he realized Tabitha's jumped on board, he has done nothing but basically send us promos harassing her. So that's been very interesting.
I thought he was hot until I realized how cocky he was. So.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, down here at Creative Pro, I know he gets introduced as something to the extent of like your next boyfriend or something.
Everybody's future ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, everybody's future ex-boyfriend. And I'm like, yeah, use that on a woman and see how far that gets you.
He's been attempting to. He's been attempting to. As a matter of fact, Chris and I were doing a show in Milford the beginning of October, and out of the blue, Tristan shows up and attacks Chris.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's been difficult.
So is it safe to say then? What was that, Tabitha?
I said he's going to find out very soon that I'm not his type.
Well, I was going to say, you personally, Mike, do you think this match with Chris and Tristan is more of a fight and less of a match because of what Tristan has done leading into this?
Chris and I are good friends, and I think that it is going to be more of a fight because he knows that this is personal now, not just for her, but for me, because, he's kind of, in my opinion, invading what we have going on. You know what I mean? We want it to be about the cause and put on some great wrestling matches, and he's just drooling over her, which I understand, but he's going about it all wrong.
Yeah. You don't want to do that. I've learned that very quickly in life. Next match I want to look at here is Calvin Strange takes on Alexander Lee.
So Calvin Strange actually recently, the 1st of October, funny enough, the same show that Chris got attacked, just became one half of the new Maine Event Wrestling Tag Team Champions.
And so then the backstory with this is, I guess, Alex is hoping to eventually get a tag title shot at some point.
No, well, not necessarily. He is currently one half of the Let's Wrestle Tag Team Champions, which I work very closely with that company with Randy Carver, who owns Limitless out of Maine. And subsequently, Calvin and his tag team partner, Dave Dyer, attacked Alexander Lee after his match the 1st of October. So they threw out the challenge for titles. So that I think that'll be something that could be interesting, further down the line.
Go ahead.
It would be a total, company versus company thing. There's a lot of different dynamics to that one. So
I totally get that. Want to look now at another team that I'm very familiar with from down here on Long Island. The Wild take on Los Toxicos.
That Los Toxicos. I've had the pleasure of having them up here a few times, and they are just a great, fun team. Nat Castle does a lot with them as well too. I know that. But I have them, with singles against the Wild. The Wild just losing their tag team titles recently to the team we were just speaking about, and they're looking to get back in that hunt, while the Los Toxicos are looking to also move forward in that realm.
So this match, basically, whoever wins this one between the Wild and Los Toxicos could potentially put themselves in the future tag title shot.
Correct.
Okay. So see, there's more, even though this isn't number one contenders match, I'm just looking here at the match graphic quickly. In hindsight, this kind of is, because whoever wins this could make the argument and say, we should be next in line for the tag belts.
Correct.
Okay. Now this one, you kind of mentioned to me beforehand, but what's going on with the Shauna Reed match?
So she messaged me this weekend, and she was actually just injured. She took a bad power bomb. I don't want to say too much because I don't know what she's letting on, but she took a bad spill, and she's currently suffering some pretty decent injuries and will be unable to attend. But I just found out today that I have a replacement, which would be Killer J. She'll be coming up. She was actually at my last show as well. She tagged with Alexander Lee in a mixed tag.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember talking about that one. Next match we got here is an interesting one, and I think the first question I have is, well, it's a number one contenders match for the Main Event Wrestling Championship, featuring Jason Maverick taking on Lee Miller, and Samuel Matthews is the special guest referee.
So Samuel Matthews is and Lee Miller, they're actually tag team partners. And there was a little issue at the last show where Lee Miller decided he was going to beat me to death with a kendo stick, which I still have a couple of scars on my back from that one. I like to do things unconventionally, so I said, what better way to do anything than to have his tag team partner referee the match. There was a stipulation, though, and that's if his tag team partner doesn't call the match down the middle, he'll be fired immediately.
Oh, okay. So basically you're saying something might happen.
I don't doubt that there wouldn't with those two.
Yeah. No, I could when that happens a lot in wrestling, you tend to see all of a sudden the ref who is the special guest referee also becomes jealous.
I've had issues with them. Not seeing them together wouldn't harm me whatsoever. So if one gets jealous of the other, especially if Lee Miller ends up winning, then fine by me. They can deal with each other, and I don't have to worry about it.
And then last match we got here is the 10-man over-the-top battle royal. Is there anything on the line with this, or is it just a battle royal?
So the winner will get a future title shot sometime down the road.
And I guess the way fans can find out who's in it, they have to be at the show to find out, obviously.
Actually, I did post the competitors online. So it is on the Bell to Bell platform.
That must have been just recently then.
It was yes, yeah.
All right, because for some reason I can't find it right now, and the ones I'm looking up. Do you mind happen to go through some of them?
Yeah, Cousin Larry will be there. A few of the guys are going to do double duty. So Chris Rags, Tristan Kyle, Jack Jake Hess, Donkey Boy Bandit. There's a few others I can't think of off the top of my head. Actually, I got the list almost right.
No, I definitely, like I said, it definitely seems like a very loaded card, a very interesting card. Tabitha, let me ask you this. Is there a match you're looking forward to seeing on this card?
All of them. No, but for real, the girl with the creepy eyes, I can't remember her name. Can you remind me her name?
Nashoba, formerly Nicole Matala.
Yes.
I would say you should have had Tristan Kai go up against her. I bet you he wouldn't done any harassing promos.
She looks like she would definitely rip him to shreds. Yes.
Yeah.
And smile.
If he keeps it up, that might be a future.
I might have to have her be my tag team partner in the future. I'll whack someone with a picnic basket. Don't try me.
So, yeah, Tristan Kai, if you're watching this at some point, don't piss them off anymore.
That's good advice.
We still have our rights up here in Maine, so.
Yeah. But Mike, for people who want to get a chance to see this, is there a way they can watch it live, or how does that work out?
It will not. There's a possibility that it'll stream live. We're still trying to work out the kinks with that. I will be completely honest. I kind of steer away from it a little bit where it's a cause, only just because then it doesn't entice people to come and support as much. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'd like everybody to be able to see everything, but when there's something behind it, show up.
I get it. And a lot of times I've noticed that with independent wrestling is a lot of companies won't air live because it's like, but I definitely, like I said, one of these days when everything with my job situation finally gets under control, I will definitely try somehow to make the trip up to you guys to actually come to a show.
It is a trip, that's for sure. Yeah.
Especially I'm coming from basically the same area with Tristan Kai, Los Toxicos, from Long Island. So
Yeah.
You know who
That's
else I'm
true.
looking forward to seeing? The Donkey Boy.
Oh yeah, she's a fan of the Donkey Boy.
I'm a fan of the Donkey Boy.
I'll be honest, I've never seen him in action. I have to go check him out.
You know, I run on Duncan myself, so I'm attracted to those colors. Like a bull is attracted to red, so he's my kind of wrestler.
Yeah, I'll definitely want to check him out on YouTube and stuff like that. But all right, Tabitha, let me ask you a question. You said you're addicted to Dunkin', right?
Yeah.
Are you iced coffee or hot coffee when you go?
Oh gosh. Okay, so typically I'm an iced coffee kind of girl. Even in below -degree weather, I could still iced coffee it. I'll be shivering. I just got to use my hand covered up to hold the cold ice.
Well, I'm in the same boat. I'm somebody who it can be 30 degrees outside. If I'm going to Dunkin', I'm like, nope, French vanilla, iced coffee.
I love French vanilla, but I'm typically like a caramel girl these days. I was really pissed when they took away hazelnut, so I had to settle.
And I've always said I'll go to Dunkin' for iced coffee. I'll never go to Starbucks.
No, Starbucks is. I already have chin hair. I don't need to grow anymore. Please, Starbucks is so strong.
Well, I always say Starbucks to me 9 times out of 10 is burnt.
Yeah, that too. And their baristas always seem angry about life. So.
I hate coffee.
What?
I'm not a coffee drinker. There is one coffee I will drink, and it's actually probably a mixture of both yours, but it has to have a shit ton of sugar and cream. Like it cannot taste like coffee. That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't do water.
9 times out of 10, I'm of the same mentality because I do a lot of traveling for shows. Like I'm traveling this weekend. I'm actually traveling down to Pennsylvania for a show. And I'll be at the 2300 Arena, the world famous ECW building.
Oh, ECW, yeah.
Where they just announced that NXT will be at literally 2 weeks later.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I know that one. I'm stopping, and I always sit there and go, yeah, give me the coffee, but give me like 3 or 4 things of Splendor just because I need something to keep me awake.
Mm-hmm. I do love Red Bull too, but that's not as good for you.
Well, like it's funny when you talk about energy drinks, there's 3 I'll go for, and one of them people laugh at me for because they're like, oh, that's the douchebag drink, and that's Prime Energy drink.
Oh well, whatever works.
I usually go for Prime, Nas, and the other one is the Rock's energy drink whenever I can get a hold of it.
I'm a Red Bull girl through and through.
Yeah, that's Red Bull's all I drink too.
Yeah.
I've had Red Bull. I have nothing against Red Bull, but I feel like with Red Bull, if you drink them too fast, you get the jitters.
Oh, totally. But if you drink them enough, you just get over it. It's fine.
That's true.
Yeah, that works out great. Yeah, just drink.
We're gonna need something next week though, because next Tuesday we have to be at the news station
at like 6:30 in the morning.
It's a 6:30 show.
Oh boy,
morning show. So yeah. We've got like a half-hour drive from the news station, so
I'll be drinking my happy coffee, and he's going to be Red Bulling it at 5:45.
Yeah, well, like that's like me. Like I'll get like the tall Nas energy drinks, the big ones, and I'll drink that thing down in like 20 minutes, and I'll be like, I'm good. But then also on the flip side, then I'll do a drive back and forth from the show in one day.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I must have had a really stressful day because I think I had 2 iced coffees and a Red Bull. I was like, how am I still alive?
If I did that, I'd be running to the bathroom quite often.
Oh, I already have ADHD. I need a stimulant.
I drink like 4 or 5 Red Bulls a day. I'm probably going to die somewhat relatively soon. The problem I have is that it doesn't seem to do anything for me. I love the taste though.
Same.
No, Mike, what's going to end up happening is Tristan Kai's is going to cut more promos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Let's just call a spade on that one. But one last question I got for you guys on with the show on the 2nd. How much are tickets and where can fans purchase tickets?
So tickets are just $15. You can purchase tickets by going to messaging Bell to Bell Promotions or Maine Event Wrestling, or either of us personally. like I said, I have the links for PayPal or Cash App to purchase in advance. Or you can call 207-412-3306. Or I do have them available at Edwards Brothers Supermarket in Trenton.
And contact Bell to Bell also if they want to donate as well and they can't make it to the show.
Correct.
All right, definitely, guys. Like I said, the link for Bell to Bell will be in the description below of this episode. And guys, definitely go check out Maine Event Wrestling. I say this constantly on the show. Go check out independent wrestling. You may not recognize a lot of the names like we just went through, but
it's fun as heck.
Yeah, and it's not only that; it's only $15 a ticket.
Exactly.
You go to WWE or AEW, you're not paying $15 a ticket.
No, not at all.
And also, I mean, I know this has been my experience. A lot of times, you get to meet these wrestlers during intermission.
Yeah, and every last one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you get to and then a lot of times they'll remember you, and that's the biggest thing. Is when you see that little kid walking up to the wrestler, and it's like they're looking and seeing, oh look, there's so and so, and in their eyes it's like, oh wait, there's Hulk Hogan.
Pretty much, yeah. It's their air Hulk Hogan. The kids seeing it and enjoying it is just as important as the cause that's we're donating to.
Or for me,
or for
with
her,
Donkey
yeah,
Boy.
exactly, yeah.
I have his signed photo on my office wall. So.
Oh, actually, hold on one second. Give me that one.
Oh, 1 second.
So I'm gonna have a signed photo shortly too, which these will be available at the show. Tabitha's very own picture.
I don't know who that is, but you wouldn't know it. But I'm actually in my pajamas right now. Mike said he was going to make me stand up and show them.
I really want to see that.
I was going to say, don't sell them to Tristan.
No, maybe I will.
They're double the cost, yeah.
There's a market for everything.
But guys, again, good luck with the show in a second. Like I said, I'm hoping at some point in 2025 to make the trip up to a show and definitely finally get a chance to see Maine Event Maine Event Wrestling. Actually, let me rephrase that. Actually, go visit Maine. I've never been to Maine before.
Yes, let me throw you a picnic while you're here and show you the best of Acadia National Park.
More likely, the girlfriend will be coming with me, so that would work out perfect.
Perfect.
But guys, appreciate you guys both hopping on. It means a lot.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely have you guys on, head into the next show.
Perfect.
All right, guys. For Tabitha and Mike, we got more stuff to get to, but we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Right after this, you're watching the Round Ropes podcast right here on the Round Ropes YouTube channel. And we are back live here. Let me get to some of these comments now because I think I may be in trouble with the missus. When we first go here to Mr. Whatchamacallit, Mr. Greek Savage goes, I travel the world with stars. You talked to me about ECW Arena. Last I checked, I was the one who got the ECW chant for taking the splash from the Maniac Crowbar. That's because you couldn't just be a manager. You had to get involved in the match there, Greek Savage. Hi, honey. Hasim, thank you for watching the show tonight. I appreciate it a lot. I don't know what that is. That was supposed to be a surprise, honey. That was supposed to be a surprise. I'll explain to you later. But I want to keep things moving here because, like I said, at 9:30, in about a little bit over 30 minutes from now, Shane Fair will be joining the show. Talk about Pro Wrestling Magic, talk about Brii, and talk about with him with stakes. So you're not going to want to miss that, guys. Like I said, actually, I just want to put something out quickly. I want to try something different. Nope, I'm doing that one. But no, like I said, as far as with whatchamacallit, hold on. Where the frick are we? Hold on. I want to test something out here right now. But actually, you know what I'm going to do? I got an idea. I'm going to talk about the two shows from this weekend. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. I don't want to hear myself talk. I hear myself talk constantly. Let's see here. I want to see if this helps with the numbers. Hold on 1 second. I want to start off with talking about the show from Saturday, Battle of the Bourough. ECPW in conjunction with DJ Storms. And overall, like I said, I thought it was a fun show. Especially I was on commentary for the entirety of it. You can go back. If you go back to DJ Storms' YouTube page, you can definitely catch it on there. But overall, it was good. Okay, it was definitely good. I know the big thing everybody's talking about right now is that he didn't draw well. But I'll tell you right now, that main event with Papa Don and Crowbar, you could have had one person in that building. You could have had 1,000 people in that building. It didn't matter. That building was rocking during that main event with Papa Don and Crowbar. That even so, Greek Savage took a very nasty bump off the barricade, which obviously, as many wrestling fans know, that's Crowbar's go-to spot. Overall, it was good. Overall, I mean, like I said, I thought Kenny Bangle getting the win over Rick Recon, I thought that was kind of a shocker to me. We also saw Bruno El Blanco defeat Mateo Marcelos. We did see, I'm trying to think of who else off the top of my head. Alex Ryman defeated Bulldog Pittman. The Now defeated the Audacity. I know we were supposed to have the Battle of the Tiffany's and Tiffany Avatar versus Tiffany Grady. Unfortunately, that match did have to get canceled or postponed because Tiffany Avatar could not make the show. But according to what DJ Storms told me, they are hoping to have her at a future show. Match of the night for me, if I had to put one, match of the night for me had to be... Match of the night for me, I'm going to be honest, and I hate to give Greek Savage credit, but to me, match of the night was Papa Don and fucking Crowbar. I mean, those guys put on, and the funny thing is, here's the funny thing, that match went almost 40 minutes. That did not feel like 40 minutes. Amanda says, if it was supposed to be a surprise, I just found out now. So not surprising now when I'm watching the... Yeah, fortunately, there's no surprises anymore. But no, but what I was saying though is Papa Don and Crowbar damn near killed each other. for two guys who have been wrestling for close to 50 years, obviously Crowbar 30, Papadon 20, those guys told a story. That match, in and in itself, I think if I had to give top 3 matches of the card, I think it would have to be Recon Kenny Bangle. No. Well, first would be Crowbar Papadon. Second would be Recon and Bangle. And third would be the Audacity and the Now. I mean, that was one match, and I said it even in the kickoff show prior to Battle of the Bourough. I even said it before then. I said, look, I said, of all these matches, I said, give me the Now and the Audacity. You got 2 tag teams that are on the rise. Well, the Now has been doing this for what seems like a fucking eternity. And the Audacity is somebody who's definitely been on the rise recently. And I think with both of them, when you talk about, especially with tag team wrestling in the state of New Jersey, take out New Jersey. Tag team wrestling as a whole, when on the independent level, if you don't mention the name the Now or the Audacity, you're being criminal to yourself. You got the Now, who's been at the top of this industry for goddamn near 20 plus years. I mean, I know the Friday night beforehand, but the night beforehand, they did capture their 4th ISPW tag team champions. So definitely want to give them, definitely congrats to them on that. But when you look at how it's played out with them, and then, because I even said this in the kickoff show, if the Audacity get the win, could they legitimately make a shot at title, make a claim for the title? Everybody I said it to said, yeah. I think with that match, I think we could still be getting it at some point. Because I would love to see out of I'll be honest, the 3 matches I mentioned, Recon and Bangle, the Now and the Audacity, and Papadon and Crowbar, I would love to see sequels to all 3 of them. I would love to see a sequel to all 3 of them. I think all 3 of those matches was insane. Was ridiculous. Hold on, I just got a video from Saturday. I don't even know what the hell. Great. I love when I get a video sent to me, and I don't know for the life of me. Oh, okay. I know what the video is. I know exactly what video that is. That's the video that Greek Savage got pissed at me for because I didn't send him the video yet because I just got the video. But like I said though, so like I said, I could definitely see the Audacity getting a shot for the ISPW tag titles at some point. Because I know the one thing in pro wrestling is you either go over or you get over. They might not have gone over on Saturday night, but they definitely got over. I think is the best way I can phrase it. I said this during the kickoff show, and I think this became very apparent in the Kenny Bango Rick Recon match because of what Rick is involved with right now with ISPW with the heavyweight title match, the heavyweight title scene. Let me put it that way. It clouded his judgment, and I think what happened was I think he overshot Kenny Bango. And what I mean by that is this. I think going into the match, he looked at Kenny as being nothing more than a tag team wrestler and being nothing more than a being nothing more. He didn't look at him as a single star. he did not look at him as a single star at all. And he overshot him, I think. And basically it got to the point with him that I think that was his downfall. And I hate to say it. I think that was Rick's downfall Saturday night. Was that he looked at Kenny and said, "Oh, because he even said it on here. Go back and watch the kickoff show." He said on here that Kenny is basically to him nothing more than a tag team wrestler. Looks like Rick was eating his words on that one, because look what ended up happening. Kenny ended up winning. But then also we have to also remember. So we talked about the Now and Near Destiny. We talked about Kenny, and then I want to get into the opening match. I'll be straight. There was an opening match. I just don't remember all three guys in it, so I apologize. Good opening match, triple threat match. But I want to get into the Gangone Marcus Mathers match. Now, a lot of you guys know on this show, I have my issues with Gangone, and believe me, they are well talented. And after the shenanigans we saw happen on Sunday, I have a feeling there's going to be more issues between myself and Gangone. And Gangone took on Marcus Mathers. I said this on the broadcast, that I think Marcus Mathers was the toughest challenger for Gangone since he's held the TCW MoFi American TV title. I think it's got to be one of his toughest opponents. And he did well. I'm not going to, and like I said, I know a lot of people know that my issues with Gangone, yada, 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 I know. But he actually did pretty damn well for somebody like Marcus Mathers, who's been around all over the place, who has been on the biggest stages that we've had on this crazy independent wrestling world. But I thought it was, like I said, pretty good. I thought also, so we had that match. I'm literally going through the match card in my head right now. Marcus Mathers, Anthony Gangone, Rick Recon, Kenny Bangle. Bulldog Pittman and Ryman. Now, this is the one thing I'm going to get a little critical about here for a second. Whenever you see pro wrestling and you see somebody has a manager or a special guest ring announcer, it's for a reason. We saw it years ago with Ricardo Rodriguez when he was the special ring announcer for Alberto Del Rio. Or even like the manager position. Like your Mr. Fuji's, Captain Lou Albano's, your Paul Heyman's. They're there to cause an issue. Now, here's where my issue kind of comes into play with this. I personally did not understand the connection with Will Janowitz and Alex Ryman. Alex Ryman is somebody who can talk well on the microphone. He's become this Revolver character, has been incredible, to say the least. And I think the issue is it seemed kind of odd for me, kind of off, if that makes any sense, that it just seems very much like, like it seems very much like put together last second type of deal. And I personally did not understand it. It served no purpose at all to any of it. It served no purpose at all. It didn't, to me, it didn't make sense. And I'm saying that in the sense of, and I know, it was a one-off type thing. I get it. And, it's independent wrestling, things aren't supposed to make sense. But if you're trying to convey a good story here, and I thought Bulldog and Ryman had a good story by themselves. I think including Will into it didn't really come off like it made sense. And again, hopefully at some point I can have DJ Stones back on the show as a guest, and I'm going to ask him that question. Then the other thing also I want to get to, like I said, I can talk about that Papa Dunn crowbar match till the fucking cows come home. But I'm going to put it this way. I thought those two guys, damn near killed each other. And put on one hell of a goddamn main event. Oh, but I like I said, I do have the utmost respect for DJ Storms. He is a fellow podcaster like myself, but he went out on his own and put a show together. And I give him a lot of credit in the world. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for him doing shows. And I also can't wait to see what the future holds with me being a part of it. Because like I said, I thought it was a complete honor that for the first time in 5 years, there was wrestling back in the Elmwood Park Rec Center. And on call was me. The same guy you're listening to or watching right now on the Around the Rose podcast. That was insane. We do have about 15 minutes left before Mr. White Glove Treatment, Mr. Shane Fair, the fairest one of them all, joins the program. So I don't want to touch on Brii yet. I want to wait till Shane is on with us for that because I want to get his take on a couple of things because the only thing I will say about that show is a lot of the matches felt very confusing to me. Case in point, what ended up becoming the triple threat match, which, by the way, Clara Carreras, I think, had the match of her fucking life on Sunday when she was in the triple threat match with Christina Marie and Notorious Mimi. But also, it was supposed to be a triple threat match, but then Mimi left, and I thought it was very odd. But again, with Shane coming on about 10 minutes, we can definitely touch on that. But briefly, I want to give a quick preview of the two shows coming up this weekend. And first, I want to touch on what's happening for Halloween Havoc 2024. So if you just give me 30 seconds, I'm going to be pulling up the card, and we will talk about that card. Again, guys, if you want to leave any comments, you definitely can. We'll be with you for about another half hour or so, give or take. And here we go. Let's sort of bottom work our way up. And a split the deal. We have Kalani Jordan defending her NXT Women's North American Championship against either Phelan Haley, JC Jane, or Jasmine Nix. Fortunately, I can't really give you a prediction on this one because I don't know who her opponent's going to be. So we'll go to the next one. Ridge Holland takes on Andre Chase in an ambulance match. Now, this one's been interesting because obviously we know Ridge turned on Chase U a couple months ago and basically has been going after them. Obviously, he took out Andre Chase. As far as this match, I think Ridge gets the win here because I think they have big things planned for him. To keep things moving here, we have, this match is going to be good. This is a dream match for tag team wrestling if I've ever seen one. We have the team of Roxanne Perez, who is your current NXT Women's Champion, and Cora Jade taking on the team that I didn't think we'd ever be calling this in WWE, Julia and Stephanie Bakure. Obviously, we all know what's been going on. Roxanne has been your NXT Women's Champion for an eternity. And Cora Jade came back when NXT made their debut on the CW beginning of October, actually, a couple weeks ago. And Cora Jade came back, and they seem to have formed an alliance now. Then also we saw Julia. And last week on NXT, we saw Julia get some help from an old friend. And that old friend happened to be Stephanie Bakure. Now, I think personally, to me, I think Julia and Stephanie get the win here because then I think you got to set something up. Because I think eventually, I'm not saying now, but I think eventually Roxanne does go up to the main roster. She doesn't have to prove anything left in NXT. As far as who gets the belt, I mean, first of all, you notice the way they did the debut for Stephanie. They did it very similar to when Finn Balor debuted several years ago, when it was Finn and Hideo Itami made their debut. I could see the scenario. Julia wins at whatever the... Okay, here's how I play it out. You have Julia win the belt. If you're going to do... Because you got to remember, you have coming up, you have Survivor Series the end of next month. After that, you got Saturday night's main event on December 14th. After that, you have you got the move to Netflix. Then you got the Rumble. Rumble's a little bit late this year. David chimes in here and goes, I'd actually put the belt on Jada Parker. David, are you talking about the first match I talked about, the NXT? You talking about what match are you talking about with Jada Parker? What match and what belt? If you're talking about the NXT women's belt, as much as I would love that because she is homegrown talent, not when you got Stephanie and Julia sitting there. They're first and second in line. Jada can wait, unfortunately. Next we have here. This is a match. When this match happened last week, I was stunned. But I've also been saying this on this show, and David can back me up on this. I have been on the Oba Femi bandwagon since day one. The guy has the look. He has the character. You see that initial shot when he comes walking through the gorilla position, and you just see the light around him. Yeah. Okay, David, I see what you're talking about. Unfortunately, I still think Jada Parker is still a long way away. Because I think right now, I think we're either getting Julia or Stephanie taking the belt off of Roxanne before she goes up to the main roster. As far as Jada getting it, I mean, if you wanted to do that, you can do that at whatever NXT event they're doing around SummerSlam. Because you remember, SummerSlam's also 2 nights next year. So they could easily do, and there's enough buildings in the New Jersey area. You can do an NXT takeover. You can do it if you want to do it in New York, the better area. You can do it in Hammerside. You can do it at the Manhattan Center. You can do it at, hell, if you want to go back to the ECW building, go back to the ECW building. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. But as far as this match goes, as much as I would love Oba Femi to regain that North American title, I think the Don retains here. And I think if anybody goes up to the main roster, no. I was going to say I think Oba, but I think Oba goes after that main title. Because that's actually the next title I want to get to. Is Trick Williams takes on Ethan Page in a Devil's Playground match. Now, I don't know what that means. We obviously won't know that for sure until we get to Sunday for our Halloween Havoc. But as far as who do I see with this, I think this is kind of in the same boat, realistically. And I think Trick retains. Now, as far as the future for Trick after Ethan Page, well, that's a debate, a question that I want to address to the ATR Nation. Do we go the route of Wesley? Or do we go the route of Trick Williams versus Oba Femi for that NXT title? Which I can tell you right now, if that's the case, you can do something with him either at the next PLE that NXT does, which they haven't announced it yet. I know the next one they have coming up is on Sunday. But they'll probably have something coming up in early 2025. David goes, Obafemi is one to watch. I think he's got what it takes to be world title level. He's a fucking beast. He's like an African version of Batista or Brock Lesnar, only better. Here's my thing also with Obafemi, and I'll freaking be the biggest fanboy for Obafemi. The guy also has the fucking look. And and the thing is, you could have him if you wanted to. And I don't think they would, just because he's been so goddamn popular right now. But I could definitely see a scenario of him turning heel at some point and really diving into that whole Nigerian background or African background with him. I could very easily see that. And can you imagine him? I'll put it right now. I'm putting it out there right now. In 2025, give me Obafemi versus Gunther for that world heavyweight title. See, I can book this shit as well as anybody else. Let's call spade a spade here. I'm also the same guy who's been wanting fucking Motor City Machine Guns, the Bloodline, and fucking the Usos to be in a triple threat match. But that's another match I want to have. Obafemi, Gunther. You can do Obafemi, fucking Brock Lesnar if you wanted to. Well, not fucking him, but you get my point. But you could do Obafemi and Brock. You could do Obafemi and Drew McIntyre. Hell, what about Obafemi and fucking Seth Rollins? I think these are all matches that when he finally gets pulled up to the main roster, it's going to be, I think we're seeing the next guy who would compete with Gunther for long title runs. And I think with him, and I talked about this on the broadcast on Saturday, when it was the El Oso Blanco match, size plays a role in these. And that's the biggest thing, is that size plays a role in a lot of these, where you can turn around. Yes, David, we actually talked about that a little bit at the start of the show tonight. I can tell you right now, I can see that being a WrestleMania main event right there. Give me those two. Okay, David, I'm going to throw you this one. Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, IC title. What do you think about that one? And hell, if you want to pull it off, why not that be Braun's WrestleMania match? Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu in a match. Doesn't have to be any stipulation or anything like that, but in a match for the IC title. Because I think realistically at this point, I'd be stunned. I'd be stunned if they have Braun drop the belt again. Being realistic right now. But why not? IC title match, Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu. A, that's a match we've never seen. B, those guys are going to murder each other to be nice about it. There would be a little bit of wrestling, but that I'll tell you right now, if we get Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker for the IC title at Mania, that's not going to be a fucking wrestling match. That's going to be a fight if I've ever seen one. That one may have to be, if I had to put a stipulation on it. Well, Dave, I'm going to tell you the stipulation. IC title match, IC title match, WrestleMania, Falls Count Anywhere match. What do you guys think about that one? Definitely would love to get your thoughts on that one. Falls Count Anywhere, IC title match, Jacob Fatu, Braun Breaker. And I'll tell you right now, if you do that, and you book it the right way, that could be one of your marquee matches that you promote. Yeah. And David, by the way, if in April, when we're doing our WrestleMania 41 preview, if we sit there and say that, if we say, by the way, next matchup coming right now is Jacob Fatu versus Braun Breaker for a Falls Count Anywhere match, can I sit there and say WWE was listening? but I think that would be a beautiful match for those two. But excuse me. But as far as the women's match, and obviously Pro Wrestling Magic General Manager and Brii Combination ring announcer, Mr. Shane Fair, the fairest one in the mall, will be on with us in about 5 minutes, so you're not going to miss that, especially coming off the heels of a insane PLA, an insane PLF. And instead, I just called Brii Combination Wrestling's Nightmare at the Mecca a PLE. Wow. It was definitely hectic. Especially with that main event of getting going and fucking Darius Carter damn near killing each other. Literally damn near killing each other. When the footage comes out, you're not going to want to miss that one. And David, are you going to have spoiler? Getting going didn't win. I was very happy because, you know, him and I have our history. Which, like I said, guys, and Amanda, if you're watching this, don't get pissed before what I'm about to say. I think we'll have some more interactions between both of us in the foreseeable future, sooner than we think. Let me put it that way. But yeah, no, as far as with Jacob and Braun, yeah, I definitely could see an IC title match on the line with those two in the ring in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And if you want to build it the right way, you can build it off of the stories of both families. Obviously, Braun Breaker, we all know, is the son of Rick and nephew of Scott. We all know Jacob Fatu is a part of the incredibly crazy bloodline. David goes, yes, John. Yes, I called it John. I said Carter would put Dingo to sleep. Yes. I don't remember if he put him to sleep or he pinned him. Kind of a wonky ending. Thanks. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, Shane will be joining us in about 2 minutes, so you're not going to miss the fairest one in the mall. Because like I said, it's been a while since we've had Shane on. I would say I think it's, I don't know if we haven't had him on in this incarnation of the podcast, where it's been on the Around the Ropes podcast YouTube channel. We had him on, the last time we had him on was either when it was still called the ATR Network or when it was called the new ATR Network. That's what I'm just thinking. Yeah, I think it was when it was the new ATR Network. Hold on. Now I'm going to check because now I'm curious. I'm very curious. Very curious. Gotta figure the shit out. Because I remember making the graphic. Yeah, okay. Wow, it's been a year already. Wow. Wow, it's been a freaking year already. Wow. So it'll be nice to have Shane come on. Definitely want to get his thoughts on what we saw on Saturday and kind of look ahead to what's coming up in December. And obviously, you know, definitely look ahead to Pro Wrestling Magic as they present Doomsday this Saturday live from the Real Magic Kingdom. Obviously, a lot of us know it as the Mecca, 106 Bergen Avenue. So it's definitely a hold on, un momento, por favor. I just want to see something here. Here. Stop song. All right, I don't know what the fuck I was doing with that. Let's see here. Nope. That's a poster. Okay, good. Here we go. All right, so I'm just going to go through the matches quickly that you'll be seeing on Saturday live for here we go, guys. Making his return to the program for the first time in over a year. He is one of many ring announcers. Personally, to me, I would put him on the Mount Rushmore of independent ring announcers alongside Mr. Ryan Peterson, Mr. Rich Reed, and Mr. Mike Falvo. The fairest one of them all, Mr. White Glove Treatment himself.
All right.
Shane there. Shane, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Good company I put in there. Hold on. Oh.
But how you been? Can't even hear you now. Nope, can't hear you. No. You had the headset before was we heard you perfect.
There we are. I think we're good now.
There you go.
Perfect. Sorry, I apologize for the ear.
You're good. You're good, but yeah, what do you think about the class I put you with?
Oh, that was good, man. Good company. I'm very happy to be mentioned among those names for sure, man.
Hey, I've said it for a while. You are one of the best ring announcers out there. But before we get to Doomsday, which I feel like that's what Brii Combination should have called their show on Sunday.
Right.
Obviously, I know we got Pro Wrestling Magic coming up, but I want to get to what happened with Brii because there was more questions than answers, I think.
Yeah, definitely a lot of dangling participles in the wake of that event for sure.
Well, I want to start off, and I'm going to start off right with the juggernaut, the main event, Gangon Carter.
Oh, it was a classic. Instant classic, man.
Though, and I say this, I know if you're aware that me and Gangon have a little bit of a issue right now, so to speak.
Oh, really? Oh, I wouldn't want to have an issue with him, man.
Well, he attacked me at the Titan show over the summer.
Oh, all right.
Well,
You're
what
lucky
happened?
to be walking.
Well, what happened was I had him on after the anniversary show, and he lost. Obviously, we know what happened. He lost the belt to Jay Bourough. I remember I was sitting with you, and we both said it. An amazing match the two of them had, and he applied the mandible claw to Anthony Cole.
Yeah, indeed.
And I had him on the show, and I remember the whole thing. And I'm just reiterating this for people who may not know. His whole issue was that he felt that BCW management was not promoting him the right way as their champion, but yet they were promoting guys like Darius Carter, and at that point it was Blonde Force Trauma, who were the tag champions at the time, more than him. And I had him on the show. I had him on the show, and I asked him, and I said, "Okay," I said, "You're pissed off at BCW management for not promoting you the right way." I'm like, "But you have your own social media. Why couldn't you promote yourself?"
Yeah, well, I don't know. He's done a lot for that company. The inaugural Grand Dragon champion. He never misses a beat. He's for as long as he's been in the game, he's performing at the highest caliber of his career. He's just incredible. Everything he does, like creatively and in the ring, is just deserves that kind of respect. So I could see if he felt disrespected. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe he wasn't as well promoted as Blonde Force Trauma. I'd agree with that. It's a tough gripe, but I would have to agree with that. Sure.
And I'll put it this way: Anthony Gangon, the person, loved the question. Anthony Gangon, that we know as Dr. Sleep, not so much.
No, you can imagine.
And actually, Shane, I actually have a treat for you because I actually have the video of him attacking me.
Oh, okay. That is a treat. Hold on, let me see.
I'm gonna put it up for you guys. Guys, you a lot of you guys have seen this video before. Guys, this is a video from when Anthony Gangon attacked me when I was trying to be the special guest ring announcer for his match, which for this show was a intergender 6-person tag match with him, Aaron Roxas, and Amy LeVay taking on a team of social media influence and Tiffany Avatar.
Oh, fine. Let's just go down the John Blaine highlight reel. Go ahead.
First, let me introduce to you the team of Aaron Roxas and Anthony Gangone, Dr. Sleep, and Amity Temple.
Wow, you know, he never washes that glove, so you basically are like tongue cousins with Anthony Cole too. Like, you know, whatever you got, he got.
But yeah, that was
like
definitely an interesting
The
moment.
glove can only exist post-COVID. You know, that's a post-COVID gimmick, man. You go around diddling people's mouth holes with a glove. You know, people are gonna raise eyebrows 4 years ago.
But no, I mean,
Now it's
I agree with you. You know, as much as I may have my issues with him, obviously, you know, for what he did, I don't take anything away from the character he's put together.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. He's you know, he's a devotee of the horror genre. You know, he like Anthony Michael Massacre and a couple other people in wrestling, like just very like they're horror savants. They know everything about it. Felicia Rose, another one, like, you know, they know their horror films. And if he's paying homage to Dr. Sleep, the sequel of The Shining, you know, that has to be a good, you know, a good story. So Stephen King should be proud to have Anthony Gangone representing his brand in some way, shape, or form. But creatively, he's incredible. You know, Dreams by the Waterfall, like, you know, all the names he's had for his finishers and signature moves throughout the years. He's just a very articulate, creative person. So like anything he does is going to be above and beyond and just stand out, just because of the level of detail and attention, and just what an articulate, intelligent man, you know, is at the helm of that ship. So you know, if he has to put you down, then so be it.
Won't be the first time, and it sure as hell won't be the last time.
You want to make an omelet, an Anthony Gangone omelet, you got to break some eggs.
Except I will say one thing though: when I got into the ring to do the ring announcing, I actually, I remember this. I went blank for a second.
It happens. You know?
I was like, I'm sitting there going. I looked at Nick Downey, who was the ring announcer, and I'm like, what am I supposed to say again? So I have to give, I have an utmost respect now for all the ring announcers, because I did it one time and I like literally drew a blank.
Oh, likewise, and same for us, and, you know, podcasters. Like, I could never do a podcast and carry on and just keep saying non-fluencies and being, you know, stumped. So I don't think, you know, I stay in my lane.
No, and believe me, I appreciate it. But I want to get back to the show on. John from the Pharaoh Mafia just chimes in here and he goes, "Boo, Downey."
Ooh, all right. Well, you know, different strokes for different folks. I'm happy to be involved with the indie wrestling mafia. I'm certainly, I love, you know, just like Anthony Gangone, like their respect is earned, and when you do finally get it, it's a, you know, it's a treasure. So I love Randy, John, the whole crew, and like
and
anything
also
mafia related, I can go for.
And also, by the way, Hall of Famers and the Front Row Mafia.
Yeah, and deservingly so. So, you know what I mean? And they're the type of people that if you see them in the event, you know, like Mittens, you probably, it's a good indicator that you've chosen like the best event for that night, you know. So it's like they're a good demarcation or a benchmark of, you know, the quality in wrestling. If they show, You know, it's like
Oh.
they're bees. You know, you got good honey.
I was wait if I didn't have a little show at the Eastern Wrestling Center for Battleground, I would be at the
Right.
Pro Wrestling Magic show on Saturday.
Ah,
But
right. And if wishes were horses, beggars wouldn't ride.
oh, okay,
The
John.
road to hell is paved with good intentions, my friend.
John just said we only show for Shane there.
Oh, I only show for you, baby. I love the Inferno and the Mafia.
But yeah,
I love talking to John and Randy.
Oh no, they're both extremely. I said this last week on the show about them. It's almost like they remind me of like the green shirt guy from WWE.
Yeah, but those guys are jerk offs. Like I would like the green shirt guy. Fuck him. I wouldn't. Or that other dude that's like went into the Hall of Fame. I would much rather drink beers with the front row indie route mafia. Like they're one of us. One of us.
Well, I look at it as in the sense of okay, maybe better name to put it. John just said he'll kick. We will kick his ass.
Ooh, who's gonna kick whose ass?
I'm assuming John wants to kick green shirt guy's ass.
Yeah, fuck Joe, green shirt guy.
But
Motherfuckers don't need no gimmicks.
I hear it's a red ass, so who knows?
Christmas, very Christmas effect.
But I want to get back to the main event for a second here, because this is a new wrinkle in this whole story, and that's called the Juggernaut, Vince Steele.
Oh yeah.
How do you think he's going to play? What role do you think he's going to play in all of this?
You know, he's always been around, the BCW bubble, like, going back to Queens. He's so he definitely feels that he's due his just desserts as well. It sucked that he had to interfere with that match. I wish we could have just got a pure match. But he has his own plans, and I can't blame him for that. But it certainly does throw a wrench in things.
It's going to make things interesting. I'll put it this way: I don't want to be around getting going at the next show, because who knows what his mindset is going to be like.
No, absolutely. You can't we can't reason with insanity, man. He's he's insane in the most brilliant way.
Yeah, and then there's a few other matches I want to kind of look at. What was supposed to be the triple threat match, it turned out to be a singles match. Which I don't know if anybody else picked up on that, but halfway through the match, Notorious Mimi just left.
Oh, the tag match that became a triple threat.
The tag match,
that's what it was. It was a tag match, yeah.
Yeah, the tag match that turned into the triple threat, which I said this before, but I think Clara Carreras was the standout in that match.
Oh, she's incredible. She's incredible. Anywhere she goes, she wins over the crowd. They're chanting Chica by the end of it. She is unaware of her size. She'll go against any size opponent. Like, she's fearless. Like in the same vein as like a little mean Kathleen, or like she's just fearless, relentless, and a fan favorite. Like the only one that's kind of like doing that right now, where she's like winning over just entire buildings, is Naya Robles. La Chica de Lola Ola. So she is doing that in like a similar way. Chica, La Clara Carreras, and Naya Robles, everywhere they go, they're just like winning over buildings. So she, the quote unquote odd girl out in that match. She wasn't a former Queen of the North. You had the fourth reigning, in Christina Marie, and you had Notorious Mimi, the current reigning, Queen of the North, a fifth dynasty, as I like to say. And she didn't have that provenance as them, and she didn't give two shits. Like, crown, no crown, women's champion, Queen of the North. That didn't mean anything to her. She just came in and she made a big statement in that match. And I think she's going to bypass a lot of the criteria in the women's division to qualify for championship matches and maybe be on that, in that picture now, because she certainly made a big statement without having that provenance of the Queen of the North or number one contendership. Like, she just roared through that match.
I think also because John even mentions it, another thing we have to look at in that women's division is Harleen Lopez.
Oh, without a doubt. She's incredible. The relentless offense, just rapid fire. You know, there's no one like her. She's just completely a fierce competitor. I love seeing her in the women's division, and BCW, without a doubt, has one of the best women's division. I'd put it up against any women's division. Pros, indie, New York, New Jersey, Texas, Mission, whatever. I'd put it up against anything. I'd put it up against WoW. Not the WoW that I love, the Warriors of Wrestling, but the women of wrestling. I would put it up against that whole promotion, our division. It's incredible. Even
I
against
mean,
NWA's women division, I would put it against.
I would even go as far as putting up against AEW's women's division right now.
Absolutely.
Because not only that, I just want to go over some of the names we got in this division. We got Vicious Vicky, who has been at the top of this division for over 500 days.
500, yeah, like 550 now, I believe, like 550 consecutive days as women's champion.
You got Faye Jackson, you got Notorious Mimi, you got Christina Marie.
Mm-hmm.
Those four, I have a strange feeling, are on the path to a collision sometime in 2025 that, let's be honest, I don't know if that building's going to be able to withstand the four of them going at it.
Oh, absolutely. It's just the level of competition right now is incredible. And I hope that, oh God, I don't even want to say it. Like, I want to say it, but I don't want to say it. But there's like such a perv element of fan that comes out for women's matches, and it makes me nauseous. Like, you see the same guys, and I'm not going to put them on the spot and shit, but you know who they are. And it's like time after time you see these fucking perverts coming out to like women heavy cards, and it makes me deserve so much more. Like, they deserve the smart wrestling fan. They deserve the the fan that is well articulated and knows just the goings on of it. It just, I don't know, sometimes it feels like they're not getting the eyes on them that they deserve, because what's going on is like some of the best quality wrestling, and some, like, the women like are just legitimate heroines and heroes. And when I see like this perv element of crowd who are just like this creeper contingent that are like they're a small minority, but they seem to show up for like all of the women heavy cards, and it, like, you could see it's like a different air, you know what I mean? And I hate like some of the extra shit that women have to go through, like, in this business. I'm like, if you take one step back, it's so visible and everything. And I'm not trying to be like White Knight or be like, like above all of this shit, but like, I see like this element time after time at these all women's event where they're just such perverts, and you want to like check their hard drive. You want to, like, you know what I mean? You know that, like the lip licking, just like seedy fan. And I wish that like that element didn't exist, and like the proper respect for like with the women, like the talent and the level of just performance that we're seeing. Like, I just wish that was as well respected, like, across the board. Like, and we didn't see that element. It's like, I feel weird saying it, but like, I don't think people address it enough. Like, and it's just it's take the money and run, kind of like, like some promoters kind of overlook it. I don't think Cole does, because they create a real safe environment at BCW and everything like that. But like some of the fan turnouts sometimes, like and I'm not trying to be like elitist and shitty about it, but there's just like such a perv creeper element. And I see it like so often on these women heavy cards, like whether it be like Women of Warriors or like, intergender warfare at Warriors of Wrestling. Like, and I know it sucks because I know the promoters personally of these places, and what a good, environment and safe environment that they try to provide for female talent. But like that element of just creepy fan, I'm just so fucking sick of. I really am. And you see, like,
I was just gonna say, I agree with you 100%. And not that I want to go down a rabbit hole with this, because
I know. I'm sorry, I don't want to. But
no. I believe me. I mean, you know this. I go to a lot of independent wrestling shows,
right,
all over the place, all the way from Dynasty in upstate New York down to Battleground in Philly, and I see it constantly when a lot of times the women are the ones who put on the best matches. A lot of times.
No, absolutely,
And
and
a
it's like
lot of
the
times, just a lot of times, I just want to say this much. A lot of times, and it's not even just the talent. It's not even just the talent. I'll go a step further. Look at the female fans and what they have to go through.
oh yeah, definitely,
It's
exactly. It's true.
I'm laughing at what John just said here because he goes, well said, Shane. He goes, such great female talent and should see them as talent.
I
I
know.
noticed a few and saw one taking crutch shots. Oh boy. Disgusting.
Shit.
Go to Pornhub, dude. I've said this for a while now, and this has always come off as like a PSA for me. When you go to an independent wrestling show, either it being Brii Combination or Pro Wrestling Magic or Battleground, that's not an invitation. That's not Tinder Live.
No.
And I wish fans would. I wish wrestling, and I'll leave it with this, and then we'll go on from this. I wish wrestling didn't have the stigma on it. That, oh, you're going to watch the women's wrestling. Oh, you're really watching them wrestle, or you're watching what they're wearing? I'm like, A, who cares what they're wearing? B, and I've said it on this show to some of the female talent, that they put on some of the best matches, sometimes better than the men.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But unfortunately, wrestling has this stigma attached to it that I wish would not exist with it, because I think that's unfortunately what's hurting it. But I want to move on though.
Yeah.
Because I want to get into. We talked about the women's. We talked about the tag match that turned into a triple threat match. I want to look at the other women's match we saw. Vicious Vicky, Riley Crow.
Right.
I mean, I've said this for a while now. I think Vicious Vicky has her whole in-ring persona has changed drastically in a good way.
Right. Oh, definitely.
And as a podcaster, I mean, Shane, you know, I don't put every match under the microscope, but you also know I'm going to be brutally honest with the matches.
So
I felt like with that match, I felt like something was off a little bit. I don't know if you noticed the same thing, but I noticed from where I was sitting, I noticed something was off between the two of them. That it was almost like they weren't clicking.
You know, could be perceptions of reality, but I'll say this: Vicky is, the greatest champion, like, logistically that BCW's ever had. 500 plus days and everything like that. She's taken on all different, comers, without hand selecting anything. Anybody that she's fought has been at management's discretion and everything, and she's had to roll with the punches and fight all different types of styles of offense, all styles of opponent, and even fighting Anthony Gangone, which is which is in itself nightmarish. And she is just a true professional, and I tell her all the time, like, she has so much more to accomplish, but anything else that she accomplishes is so superfluous. Like, she's done it all. Appearing on AEW, she's like, to become a legend in New Jersey is with the amount of talent that comes out of New Jersey is not easy, and she is a New Jersey legend, a living legend, and has that provenance where she's earned it. And she's, she leaves a heart in the ring. She cares so much about every match that she has, and she's just the complete professional. She really is. And
I completely agree. I've said it about her numerous amount of times. If you were to ever put together a Brii Combination Mount Rushmore of current stars, there's two names I put on that list: her
DC
and DC.
Of course, exactly.
And to me, that's it. What they have done as champions. I mean, obviously, DC, it's his second reign. And I feel like as long as I'll be honest, I feel like as long as I've been going to BCW shows, I feel like he's been the champion. And that's going on almost
definitely
2 years now, almost 3 years.
Absolutely. Yeah, they're both over 500 days. They're going to hit 600 days apiece by December, and it's something to be said for that. They've taken on, especially Darius, like some of the opponents that they've thrown his way. You know, it's incredible, Wayne, and they've both gone through everybody, and it's all been at management's discretion. Nobody's got to hand select their opponents, and they've really they've exemplified fighting champions. They really have. And whether you hate Darius or you dislike him, those, I guess, are the two options. He is incredible. To be the seventh, what was number 7 out of 500 black wrestlers on the planet Earth, to be considered the seventh best of those 500, that's incredible. That is absolutely incredible.
We had Darius on. Not to clear up, we had Darius on the show last week before his match.
Mm-hmm.
He even made the comment. Even if you look at the PWI list, he's number 152.
Right.
That's 152, and might we also add, he's not in WWE or AW, so he's not on a big stage. And he's 152, where if you go through that whole list, I guarantee there's guys on the list below him who are on TV, who are on the bigger stage, and he's doing all this by doing shows like Brii Combination, like the show he did out in California, the stuff he's doing in North Carolina.
Right. And I still, my theory will always be maintained that, he is not, on Ring of Honor or MLW or AEW or WWE or NXT, because he would invalidate every heel on the roster. Where do you go after Darius Carter? Where do you go after a guy that, there's a girl in the crowd dressed up as him, honoring him for Halloween, and he pushes her wheelchair away. Then at the end of the match, he sets up the stairs so that he can tower above her in victory. Like, where do you get a more evil person than that? And that's the problem. I think that WWE or any of these places ask themselves is, where do you go after Darius Carter? What do you follow that with? You know what I mean? It's like, where do you try to present evil, that can surpass or trump what Darius is doing? So that, I think, is the problem, because he's so just inherently and naturally evil, and he's a sadistic artist that there's no one that can top him, and that's his weakness, I think, as far as commercial success. And we're the benefactors of that. We're the ones that are lucky, because anyone else of that talent level would be long gone, but they cannot match his evil, and that's the handicap.
I'll go a step further, and I've said this a couple of times now. One match I'd love to see in 2025, and I hope Anthony Cole can pull the trigger on it. Darius Carter versus Vicious Vicky.
I want Carter and Charles Mason, and the fact that it hasn't happened yet is it just astounds me, is it the lack of creativity against with some of the promoters that hasn't been the most important match in wrestling in this area. Is to have Charles Mason versus Darius Carter is ridiculous. There's no better fitted match in professional wrestling than those two, and at any level. And the fact that we have not seen Darius Carter versus Charles Mason is promoters' laziness. That's the only thing I can say. That it's right there in front of you. You're not going to get a better match between two better heels. Oh, I can only have a heel versus a face. And that mentality is ancient and it's antiquated. That the fact that we haven't seen these two people matched up anywhere, and when they keep crossing paths like two ships in the night, two pirate ships in the night, and we don't have it. Where is it? You know what I mean? Where is Charles Mason versus Darius Carter? That's what I want to know.
John has one here. Then I want to hop over to Pro Wrestling Magic.
Yeah, we've seen it. Yeah, I don't know, but we've seen it. Seen it at Warriors, I don't know.
But I agree with you about Darius and Charles Mason. But you want to talk about a crowd, almost like, I'm trying to think the best way I can describe how I think. If you get Vicky versus Darius, first of all, I think that building would be split in half.
Right.
But you want to talk about two of the bigger. That it's like Hogan and Rock almost. Put it that way.
Mm.
I would put it on that level. I think but for that match, the only way that match can be done right is you have to book it the right way. There has to be the right story, and you can't put it on like you would have to put it on like almost like an anniversary show or like a big stage for a Brii Combination. I feel.
Right.
But I want to get over now to Pro Wrestling Magic because they have a show coming up this Saturday.
That's right.
At
Exactly.
the real Magic Kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to the fake one that's in Disney.
That's right. The money draining one.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go through the card here quickly. Obviously, we have for the Pro Wrestling Magic Women's Championship, we have Rebecca Scott taking on Kelsey Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
And a no DQ, Doomsday Street Fight.
That's right.
So if you've never seen a Street Fight live, be prepared to move out of your seat real quick.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Got a long history of street fight violence at Magic, and we hope to continue that.
Alex Ryman, it says here he's taking on Beastman, but from what I heard, I think Beastman is not going to be able to make it. So I think he's an open challenge.
Yes, indeed. That's what we're looking at as an open challenge now. So we'll find out what happens on with that. But Beastman is out for that. So we might be able to see Ryman get caught off guard because I know he was preparing for the Beastman fight, and with very little time to prepare, this might be it. This might be the end of Ryman's reign. But again, another one that has blood, sweat, and I don't think he's cried. I don't think he's ever cried at Magic. Unless maybe so. But the blood and sweat have always been there for Ryman, and he. Like Steve and I were talking, who hasn't missed like one event? We're trying to go through who has like the longest streak as far as like not missing an event, and he's got to be one of them, And he's out there. He's a workhorse, you know what I mean. He deserves it. His promos, everything he does is excellent, and he never complains about anything ever. He just shows up and he kicks ass. He's got such a great background in shoot wrestling and like Greco-Roman wrestling. I would really love one day. I always talk about Roger Mendez. I'd love to see Roger Mendez at Magic. I think the two of them would have just a chain fest. They're two great Greco-Roman stars. I would love to see Roger Mendez come into Magic and take on Ryman at some point. Ryman, we've seen his like brutal, almost like hardcore aspects of him in the last few matches and like, having to bleed. But I think people forget that technically how sound he is. He really is. He can brawl with you and get bloody with you, but he can also, shoot with you. And, he's a great chain wrestler, and I can't, stress that enough. He was a high school standout. And so was Roger Mendez out of Curtis and Staten Island. Would love to see New York, New Jersey, Greco, but their styles are very similar. I think Roger's grooming habits are probably much better. I think he probably is more manscaped than Alex. I don't want to judge. But I would love to see the two of them. It's like that's a dream match for me. But I mean, we'll see what happens Saturday. The open challenge. I can't wait. The Magic never lets me down as far as like heavyweight championship. Matches. I think that's always been.
I thought you were about to say you want to see Ryman and Mendez in a manscaped off contest.
That should be like a what do you call it? Like a manscaper on a pole match or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what the conditions would be, but we could.
Very hairy, I hear.
That's right.
John mentions an interesting thing here. He goes, if the Ryman and Donovan don't get the chance to continue their feud, it's a massive miss. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I remember seeing the video that you and Steve put out there. Sean Donovan is not allowed in the Magic Kingdom after what happened earlier this year, if I remember correctly.
Right. But at the same time, you got to listen to the wishes of the champion. And I think he doesn't back down from any fights, and he's wanted that fight against Donovan. And it gets to the point where it's like you have that person who keeps coming on your property, and you're holding your dog back. You're holding, then the dog is snarling and it's foaming at the mouth. And then the person comes in the yard, reaches over the fence one day and whips that dog, whips your dog a few times, and you're still holding him back, and this person just keeps coming back. And eventually you have to let the pit bull go. You have to just say sick him, and you got to let Alex Ryman be Alex Ryman and get what he deserves. Like, Alex Ryman's a man just like anybody else. Like, I'm not going to sit there and, while the interest of Alex's safety was the first concern after seeing him crucified to a chain with, big Jesus right over his shoulder, literally in the same position, except Alex looked worse for wear. There's got to be some redemption for him. There's got to be, there just has to be some retribution. At some point, there has to be retribution, and you got to let the dog go. So what I have to do is just, enough time has passed. So now that cooler heads prevail, I think Ryman wants that match more than anything, and we have to facilitate it. And a lot of people forget, like, Donovan, one time we ended an event with Donovan knocked out in the ring, face down, ass up, and the whole crowd exited the building while Donovan was taking a snooze in the ring following his loss. So Alex, he's our flagship. He's our championship carrier. So just out of my pride for the company, I'm not going to sit and let someone constantly disrespect our building, roster, and especially our champion, and physically attack our champion without letting the proverbial pit bull off the leash. And that's what has to happen. And I'm down to facilitate it. Or, obviously we want it to happen at Pro Wrestling Magic. We don't want it to happen at Bourough at the autograph signing / wrestling show that they have. We'd rather have it at a wrestling centric event. So come to the Mecca. There's a reason we call it the Mecca. And like we say, people, there's wrestling every weekend at the Mecca. That is like saying there's too much tennis at the Arthur Ashe Tennis Center. So for anybody that says there's too much wrestling at the Mecca, I cordially invite you to suck my dick. This is the Mecca for a reason, and it will continue to be the Mecca as long as we have, GCW coming through and all the other promotions that come through with Pro Wrestling Magic, who's made it the Magic Kingdom. And we're proud of our building. We're damn proud of what we've created in Ridgefield Park. And I named it, I named it the Mecca, and that's the most proud. If I do anything else in wrestling, I am just proud to have associated that name with that building because I love it. And I know everybody that performs in there in Pro Wrestling Magic, it's more than a building. You know what I mean? It is our kingdom, a proverbial kingdom. And, Steve Off and his promotion have done a lot to build that, a lot to build that. Whether you think it's waxed or waned or whatever your opinion is, Pro Wrestling Magic has built that building, and made it a destination. And we're so proud. I'm so proud that GCW can come in and have people packed to the rafters and everything like that. That I'm glad that they recognize it as a worthy destination. And it is. It really is. And I love that building and I love Pro Wrestling Magic. And at a certain point, Alex is our defender. He is the kingdom's Lancelot, for lack of a better term. And he's got to, we got to let him off the chain and defend the kingdom. There's no better man to do that.
One last thing with Ryman before we get to one more thing with Pro Wrestling Magic. John mentions an interesting game. Ryman Donovan, main event of Kingdom Come.
That'd be great. You know what I mean? John, Mark Mackey is they have great booking in mind. You know what I mean? Like sometimes fans throw out, I don't want to minimize him or marginalize him by calling him fan. He's part of our kingdom. He's part of the Magic Kingdom. He's, one of the royal subjects, we'll say. So those royal subjects, Sir McCree and Sir Von Tecker, always have really good suggestions. And don't think that when you make these decisions that they're just thrown out into like the ether of the netherworld. Steve Off and I, we talk we have 24-hour conversations, and we're constantly mentioning Decker. We're constantly mentioning McCree. Like they have great ideas, and like believe me, that would be a great way to end the year. And just for the sake of moving on, old acquaintance be forgot. Moving into January, it would great to maybe put the final chapter on that, or put at least a point that we can just reassess everything and move forward. So that would be a great way to end. He's right. That would be a great way to end the year, and I'm very for ending conflicts or resolution. Like ending a year and tying it up with a nice bow. And I think that would be, a bloody bow, but I think it would be that would be a
Well,
good cap on a great year here at Magic.
actually, I have an idea I want to present to you, and it literally just dawned on me right now. As the Pro Wrestling Magic general manager,
Yes, sir.
an idea just dawned on me, and then we'll get to the last part with the show on Saturday. I'm willing to make an offer. It could help or whatnot. On this podcast, I've done it before, where there's a rivalry up in Dynasty featuring a wrestler by the name of Punk and Sergeant Fury. They had a live confrontation on this show, and it was all storyline based, but it felt real. What if either in the Pro Wrestling Magic ring or on this podcast, I pull off the impossible, and I want to run it past you first before I present it to Ryman and Donovan. Have both of them on screen before whenever that match is.
Oh, I'd be certainly game for that. I don't want to speak on Alex's behalf. Just as champion, I do have to yield to him. If that's something he wants to do, I certainly would love to see that. Certainly not in the same building. I don't think that would be a good idea. In the same ring, if those two guys are within 20 feet of each other, we're going to get the same result every single time. Like it's on site, on site for both of them.
But
all respect to Donovan. Yeah, that would be fine. You know what I mean? That would be fine with me. You just I'll ask Alex about it. He's very focused, and I would have to yield to him, but I would have no problem with that. I would love to see that.
I literally thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? Let me give it a shot. But one last thing I want to get to with the show on Saturday is this Monday. What is it called? The Monday Morning Magic taping.
Correct. Yes,
what
sir.
What exactly is that? I know Monday morning is Monday morning, but what exactly is the Monday Morning Magic? What is that?
Oh, we're in season 2 now. So basically, this is like the brainchild of Jimmy Riot. It started under the creative supervision of Joey Finnegan, who was our creative director at one point, and it was his vision that the show basically Monday morning is just the great way to start the week. There's no other alternatives, I think, for Monday morning, as far as wrestling. So it's nice to have that kind of content on a Monday morning where you could just turn to and start the week, with some wrestling. And it's geared towards it's a YouTube exclusive, so the only way to watch it is on YouTube. Jimmy, who I love very much, commentator at Pro Wrestling Magic, he's been there, obviously, I believe now, so almost the entire lifespan of Pro Wrestling Magic, he's always been there. And before he was a commentator, just like he was in the crowd, and he's again like heart and soul about the product, and very creative. So this is definitely a creative outlet for him as well. And I love working with him, in general. So but it's 2 exclusive matches. This time around, you're gonna have actually have the Pro Wrestling Magic World Tag Team Championship, which is not bad for an untelevised pre-show. So to be there in person, I wasn't privy to this. This is see live or on that Monday morning. So cool to be some kind of Pro Wrestling Magic content before it airs, and this is the chance to do that. And of course, the second match, we got Big Ray. Big Ray is a guy that I've known for a long time. Dude, man, this guy's big guy. He's about 6'4", maybe 6'5". Always dressed to the nines. He at one time he was involved in the sale of luxury cars and everything. So you talk about like kind of like a lavish kind of lifestyle. He's living it. You know what I mean? He's always had a luxurious life, and I think that Vinny Pacifico is in for a tough match with him. I think, I love Vinny Pacifico. They kind of have the same provenance. Big Ray, at one point, had been training at Warriors of Wrestling, and he went to other schools and such like that. And he's, I believe, Creative Pro. So he has a provenance, well trained. If you come out of Warriors, I know your fundamentals are already top notch, and then he had additional training on top of that. So this is definitely well versed, and he's who are a bit like newer talent. He didn't rush into it. He kind of he really let it come to him. He made sure that he was ready, and I really admire like this kid's work ethic. So I think that he's going to be a good opponent for Vin Pacifico. They're both privileged lifestyles of different means. So I think that that could play well into it. These are two kids that want to prove themselves. I hate to call Vinny a kid still, but they're always out to prove themselves. Vinny is one of the most hungry competitors that there's ever been in wrestling. He's a workhorse. He has a Puritan work ethic, and he's always looking to. So I don't think he's going to want Big Ray to come in and rain on his parade Monday Morning Magic taping.
So for people who are going, the Monday Magic taping, that's first, then intermission, then the actual show.
Exactly. Doors are going to be at 5, and then the Monday Morning Magic taping is going to be at 6 p.m. And then starts at 7. That's going to be live on IWTV. If you don't have, please use the code MAGIC when subscribing, and it's $9.99 a month. You have a full catalog of, I think, about like 30 to 40 previous, and we're right now stand the catalog. There's like 30 missing matches. 30 missing events, and Steve is right now acquiring them, so you can look for our library to expand, probably to have our entire catalog. But you can go way back, pre-COVID. Everything's up on IWTV. We were lucky to Pro Wrestling, who is the great TV team, like them, False Finish, Rich Ruiz, like they're the best of the best, and we're lucky to have GoPro getting us live on IWTV. They have evolved with us on that live broadcast and just gotten better and better. So that I think is one of the secrets to the Magic machine is GoPro Wrestling for sure.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And like I said, if I didn't have Battleground this Saturday, with actually one of the matches being Shelton Benjamin versus Rich Swann,
oof,
and Vicious Vicky versus Danny Moe versus Gabby Ortiz for the BCW Women's title.
That's awesome.
And also for the BCW Heavyweight title, not the one that Darius has, the Battleground.
No, correct.
It's VSK versus B-Boy.
Oh, wow.
And also, not that I know anything verbatim, but NXT is actually in Hershey, PA this coming weekend for Halloween Havoc. And I happened to look, and Hershey, PA to Philadelphia is only about a 2-hour drive. So could we possibly see some NXT people there? I don't know.
You never know. Could be some eyes on the prize there.
You never know. One last question I got for you. Since you are a baseball fan and the World Series is on Friday, who do you have winning?
Obviously going to be super biased, but I also love Ohtani, so it kind of balances the bias. I love Freeman. I love James Outman, and I like Max Muncy. So, like, I've had a good look at their team like the last couple of years especially. And I do think that the Yankees can pull it out, but it's not going to be less than 6 games if they do. Then this isn't going to be a 5-game series. Like the Yankees win, it's going to be 6 or 7. So I'll say Yankees in 6. Hopefully this ages well, but hopefully being too biased with. But it's just with Soto and Judge and Torres and Stanton, everybody's hot at once right now, and I think that that the Olds probably runners in scoring position is kind of defines what the Yankees are doing right now. And of course, even Hernandez, since he got glasses, is up 40% of against the league as far as hits and runs. So he's way up just alone, and then the entire Dodgers squad is sort of like the Yankees, where every runner's in scoring position, every at bat. Mookie, Ohtani. It's impossible to get through that lineup, and I do think he's going to pull it out. Though I just think that there's just a little bit more momentum on this side right now. So I think Yankees in 6 or 7, but 6.
As much as I would love for it to have been the Mets in the World Series, I can't be upset with what we did this year. We went much farther than anybody thought we were going to go. As if I'm going to give my prediction right now, I'm going to go Yankees in 7. I'll put it this way, and I'm going to give one X factor, and then we'll wrap up right after this. If the Yankees can shut out Ohtani and make Ohtani be a non-factor, that I think this possibly goes 5, maybe 6, but I think 7. And then, Shane, we do have one comment coming in here actually about this. Actually, my girlfriend who's commenting on it right now, who is also
congratulations. Yankees, there we go. Good. Yeah, I'm so happy too, man. I'm very happy for you, man. That's like what we all want to achieve. Like, I mean, like getting back to the non-creepy version of what we were saying before, like, of course you want to date somebody like within the business or somebody that's going to be approving of your, will understand the weekend commitment and, maybe come with you. Like, like I saw the other day, that is like, that's what that's the goal. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you've achieved that, my friend. So
believe me, I appreciate that a lot. And she will be back, and I'm hoping to bring her to the real Magic Kingdom.
Very cool. Yeah, see, I dated a girl that I thought things were good, and then I remember one night, I was kind of on the verge, like, all right, we've been together for a couple months. I'm like, I'm gonna ask her to be my girlfriend. Like, I kind of go like, I go through the seeing process before the girlfriend process, and I remember that night I was gonna ask her to, like, I was like, all right, I'm gonna ask her to be my girlfriend tonight. So it's like, all right. And I was talking about, like talking about wrestling, but not, Adam Cole and this. Like, I was talking about it as it pertains, like, just like my personal connection. And I remember she said, could you please shut the fuck up about wrestling? You've been talking about it for 45 minutes. Like, okay, I'm not going to ask this girl out. That was that. So.
But no, I mean, I will admit, my girlfriend is not a wrestler. Didn't know anything about wrestling before she met me. And slowly she's seeing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff,
which is good. I think it's a positive thing overall.
And she she basically turned around to me. Well, I turned around to her and I go, oh, by the way, if you're not doing anything, I got a show I'm going to here this weekend. And she goes, what time what time are we leaving? But like, and the thing is also, I took her to the NWA show, the one that he did out here on Long Island a couple weeks ago. And I said this to her. I love going to shows with her for the one reason I get to see her reaction to what's going on as a sort of a newbie.
Non-jaded. Yeah. But poisoned though, I think, like, somebody that's like corrupted, like she's got a pure, like
she has that look. She had the look in some of the matches where I kind of looked and I kind of saw that look of like almost like confusion, but like she was enjoying it. I'm like,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I did tell her when it was in regards to Brii, I did tell her, I said, they do have a tendency to fly over the ropes.
Mm.
Be prepared to move.
That's right.
Be prepared. And then, yeah, this is the other thing also. She loves Man Bun Jesus for his mascot.
Oh, Groovy Grizzly. Oh, yeah.
Or no, she calls him Teddy.
Oh, okay.
That was her whole big thing. I want to go meet Teddy. I want to go meet Teddy.
Oh.
But Shane, I do want to thank you for hopping on tonight. You know,
Anytime,
it was like
John.
having
I'm
you on.
always a pleasure. Thanks for everything you do, man. Thanks for everything you do for all these promotions, bro. You be nothing without you, bro.
I try. Believe me, I try. And like I said, I definitely want to come back. I miss going to magic shows. And I'll be honest, the biggest thing I always love doing is when I go to magic shows and Danny Moff is on the card. And I said this to you before. Your intro of him.
Oh, thanks, bro.
I'm surprised you haven't popped a blood vessel yet.
Oh, I'll be happy to. Like if I die like in the Mecca, like announcing Danny Moff, I'm good with that. Like I'm gonna haunt that place anyway. Like, as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna be in just inhabiting that one part of the stage where I usually am already. Like, so like just if you're looking for any supernatural shit, that's all gonna occur over there. Like speaker plugs out. Like I have afterlife plans for that building.
Oh,
I'm gonna live in that creepy upstairs that none of us go to for some reason. The most creepy things you'll ever want to see.
I don't think
that's where I'm gonna live.
I don't think I've ever actually.
I remember the last time I went there. It looks like an ancient crime scene, and in the window there was like a rusty steak knife. I was like, oh, there's no way a knife got up to this fucking random apartment looking thing without good intentions. Like, and it just, yeah, you got to check it out next time. It's creepy. I don't think anybody like you would think that people go up there to whatever else goes on. I think everybody's just so frightened of that one staircase that nobody goes up there.
Yeah, I know what staircase you're talking about, but like I said, no, you're good. You're good. I always love having you on, and I definitely want to try to get you on again because the last time we had you on was a year ago.
Oh wow!
It's been that because I was thinking about it before. I'm like Shane hasn't been on since we've been under the new Around the Ropes YouTube channel.
Right. Yeah, it's been a while,
I was looking. Man. It was when we were still under, when the old regime was still here.
Aha.
Yeah, but guys, we're gonna be
JC Storm Army.
That's a good way to put it. But guys, again, go check out
we stand up for our girl.
One of these days, I'll do a tell-all about that. But Shane, before we let you go, where can the fans connect with you on social media, and what else do you have coming up you'd like to promote?
Right now you can connect with me on Cash App at World's Fair NYC. No, I'm like, well, you can, but no, at YouTube Fair NYC, on Twitter at Shane Karma, Facebook at Shane Fair. I'm sorry to say somebody messed with my Instagram, so I'm trying to get that back right now. It's always got to be somebody, right? So that's down for the future. I'm hoping to get that back. That was at World's Fair NYC. That was like my favorite platform out of everything, so I'm kind of bummed about that. But I've been kind of quiet across the board, like a little bit of radio silence. I've been a little bit bummed about that. Having the gram withdrawals. You could check my gloves. Definitely new content on my Only Gloves every day. Not at all. What do you got? What are you reading there?
No, I'm just reading this. I'm just reacting to what you were just saying about the Only Gloves.
All right. I thought he was just sent him a cock pic. He's laughing, so I'm very bashful now.
Hey, that could be a shirt actually for you.
What's that? Only Gloves? I'm telling you. fans wave is kind of like past. I think people have changed their habits.
But
That was very COVID era.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. But guys, also go check out Around the Ropes podcast on Pro Wrestling Tees. We do have a store. Go get yourself a Around the Ropes. Yeah. Go get, and for ours, it's that logo. It's actually that logo, but in the new version, and a couple of other shirts. Definitely go check it out. And like I said at the beginning of the show, if you do buy a shirt and you let me know, I will give you a shout out on the podcast for free.
That's what's up.
So that's a good incentive.
And don't be cheap. Don't get the nice cotton one too. Get the premium. Treat yourself. Get yourself a little tank top, tie it in a knot. Come on, go out there.
Well, and how else perfect of a way to end tonight with this comment right here from friend of the show, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Rob Williams.
Oh, Rob Williams. I love my Rob Williams, man. I'm blushing.
The guy who, and I've said this before, if it wasn't for what he did with Bob Culture Podcast, there would be no Around the Ropes podcast.
That's right.
That's the best I can put it. But guys, for Shane, I want to also thank Michael Turner from Maine Event Wrestling, who joined us earlier tonight. But we're going to get out of here, guys. You can catch me this Saturday live from Battleground Championship Wrestling with a live podcast. I don't know what time yet I'm doing it, but I will also be on call for the show, as I mentioned before. I also get to call, and I'm not kidding you, Wildfire Tommy Rich.
Oh, shit.
The guy is 68 years old, and I'm going to be calling. This is the same guy who had the Battle of Omni back in 1981 with him and Buzz Sawyer for the NWA Heavyweight title.
That's crazy.
So I get to call that. I get to call Shelton Benjamin, Rich Swann, the Triple Threat Women's match, and so much more. And guys, as always, you can catch the fairest one of them all, Mr. White Glove Treatment. This coming.
You can catch me outside. How about that?
This coming Saturday from the Real Magic Kingdom, or as you know it as the Mecca, 106 Bergen Avenue. Definitely get your tickets.
You better be in costume too. We're having a costume contest after the show. Winner gets tickets and a t-shirt. And if we don't have your size, we'll have it for the next show. You could personally order the shirt of your choice if you win the costume contest. More inappropriate, the better. No, I don't know. I just added that, but.
So, hint of advice: dress like Shane Fair, you might win.
Oh, that is inappropriate. Ugh, don't do that.
All righty, Shane. Again, I appreciate you for hopping on, guys. For Shane, I'm John. This has been Around the Ropes podcast. We'll see you guys this coming Saturday, live from Philadelphia. You guys can all catch Shane this Saturday from Ridgefield Park, Doomsday, for Pro Wrestling Magic. And guys, we're out of here. We'll see you guys soon.